You tap Buy. Before your thumb even leaves the glass, it is done. You own the stock. But stop and think. Who sold it to you? In that tenth of a second, some human did not answer the phone and agree to a trade. Somebody was already standing there, waiting, holding it, ready to hand it over the instant you asked. Tonight, we meet that somebody. The most important person in finance you have never heard of. This is the Meme Economy, Episode 15, The Shop That Never Closes. Forget Wall Street for a second. Picture a card shop at a busy convention. Our guy Sam has a booth and a hand-drawn sign. I buy Charizards for $10. I sell Charizards for $11. That sign, two prices at once, one to buy, one to sell, is the entire secret of market making. Sam is a market maker. He just does it with cardboard. Watch the magic. A kid needs cash, sells Sam a card for $10. A collector wants one, buys it from Sam for $11. Sam keeps $1. He did not bet the card would go up. He did not predict anything. He just stood in the middle and earned the gap. Do that 200 times a day, and Sam goes home with $200. That gap has a name, the spread. Buy at 10, sell at 11, keep 1. On the real stock market, the gap is not $1. On a giant stock, it is often a single penny or less. A penny is nothing until you do it a billion times. The whole business is a microscopic edge repeated at a scale that breaks your brain. Here is the catch that makes it a real job, not free money. To always be willing to buy, Sam has to keep buying even when everybody is running for the exit. Bad news hits, a reprint rumor. Everyone dumps cards on Sam at 10, then 9, then 8. Sam is now sitting on a pile he paid 10 for, worth 7. He is catching a falling knife. This is called inventory risk, and it is the villain of the whole story. Sam can win $1 1,000 times, then lose $40 in one bad hour holding cards nobody wants. Worse, some of the people selling to him know the reprint is coming. They are picking him off. Market making is not a betting business. It is a risk management business. So how does Sam survive it? 3 moves. 1. If he is stuck holding too many, he quietly lowers both his prices to clear the shelf. 2. When things get scary, he widens the gap, charging more to take the risk. 3. He hedges, pre-selling cards to a buddy across the hall so a crash cannot wipe him out. Skew, widen, hedge. That is the craft. Now swap the cardboard for computers. The real market makers are firms most people have never heard of, and they are titans. One firm, Citadel Securities, is the invisible other side of roughly 1 in every 3 stock trades that regular Americans make. When you hit buy on your phone, more often than not, you are trading with them. And the money is staggering. In 2025, Citadel Securities made a record $12.2 billion trading. Another firm, Jane Street, made $39.6 billion, the single biggest trading year any firm has ever had anywhere. All of it built from spreads measured in pennies. This is the toll booth on the entire market. How do you win at a penny a trade? Speed. These firms pay to place their computers physically inside the exchange, inches closer to the machine. They built an 800-mile cable in a straight line from Chicago to New Jersey just to shave milliseconds, then replaced it with microwave towers that beam prices through the air. In this world, being slower by 1/millionth of a second means you get picked off. But that same speed can vaporize you. In 2012, a firm called Knight Capital pushed a bad software update. For 45 minutes, their computers fired millions of orders they never meant to send. When they hit the off switch, they had lost $440 million. The firm was gone within days. The same automation that prints money can bury you before you finish your coffee. There is one more reason your trades are free. When you buy on a no-fee app, your order is quietly sold to one of these market makers who fills it and pays your app for sending it. It is called payment for order flow. Supporters say it is why trading costs you nothing. Critics say if you are not paying, you might be the product. Europe banned it. America kept it. Both sides have a point. Keep both of those in your head at once, because that is the honest version. Now the scariest part. Market makers are a choice, not a law. They can walk away. On May 6, 2010, they got scared all at once and pulled their quotes in seconds. For a few minutes, there was no shop. Solid companies briefly traded for a single penny, and others for $100,000 a share. The market fell 1,000 points and clawed back in half an hour. That is what the world looks like with no one minding the shop. And let us kill the biggest myth right here. The market maker is not a casino betting against you. They do not care if your stock goes up or down. They hedge to stay perfectly neutral. Their real enemy is not you. It is that pile of inventory and the people who know more than they do. They are not the house. They are the shopkeeper. For 100 years, this was a velvet rope club. You needed a firm, a seat, permission. Then crypto blew the doors off, and it did something wild. It fired the shopkeeper entirely and replaced him with a jar of candy. Here is the candy jar. Imagine a jar with gummies and mints. There is no shopkeeper setting prices, just a rule. The fewer gummies left in the jar, the more mints you have to pay for each one. Buy up the gummies, they get pricier automatically. That simple rule is called an automated market maker, and it now moves trillions of dollars. Uniswap alone has traded over 4 trillion. Mathematicians write it as x times y equals a constant. But you already get it from the jar. 2 buckets on a seesaw. Take from one side, the seesaw tilts, and the price of what is left climbs. The beautiful part: the jar can never be fully emptied. There is always liquidity at some price. No human required. And here is the door that swung open. Because it is just a jar and a rule, anyone can be the shopkeeper now. Add your own gummies and mints to the jar, your own 2 tokens, and you earn a cut of every single trade that passes through. Regular people, with a wallet, earning the spread that used to belong to the club. They are called liquidity providers. But, and this is the catch nobody puts on the poster, there is a trap called impermanent loss. Put in 1 Ethereum and $100 when Ethereum is 100. If the price rockets, the jar quietly trades away your Ethereum for dollars as people buy it. You pull out $400, but if you had just held and done nothing, you would have 500. That missing 100 is impermanent loss. The fees you earn have to beat it, or you lose. Run the numbers so it sticks. Crypto took this one step further. On some exchanges, you do not even have to run the jar yourself. You drop your money into a shared vault, and the exchange does the market making for you, earning from spreads, fees, and liquidations, then splitting it with everyone in the pool. Our partner Apex runs vaults exactly like this, settled in stablecoins, where you hold your own keys. But hear this clearly, because it matters. That vault yield is not free money, and it is not guaranteed. It comes from real trading fees and spreads. It goes up and down, and it is not insured. When markets move violently, these vaults can and do lose. One famous crypto vault got dragged millions into the red in a single engineered attack. Reward always has a receipt. So next time you tap buy and it fills in a blink, you will know the truth. Somewhere, a shopkeeper was standing there. Maybe a firm with a microwave tower. Maybe a formula in a candy jar. Maybe a vault full of strangers like you. Quoting a price to buy, a price to sell, earning pennies on the gap, sweating every item on the shelf. You never notice them when they are doing their job. You only find out what they were worth the day they walk away. That has been education, not financial advice. See you in the next one. If you want to see how a market-making vault actually works, the link is in the description, and it gets you 30% off Apex trading fees. Referral link, terms apply. See you next time.